How to cope being a highly sensitive person? Well, the simple answer to that would be to focus at one thing at a time. Take a deep breath, expand your stomach. Elliot Hulse has a lot of bioenergetic videos online on YouTube. And I have learned that, I can make a whole series of videos if you guys want that. Let me know in the comments. Expanding your stomach, expanding the diaphragm creates this sort of, you have nerves in your stomach area and it expands, you expand it, you feel less anxious. And there's a whole ancestral, genetic reasoning behind that, of how our ancestors used to behave in the past in stressful situations, and how they, their stressful situations were a little bit different than our stressful traffic, or this is due next week, damn, I gotta do it till last minute and I'm stressed out. The stresses were different back in the day. Maybe you're getting chased by a woolly mammoth, or the village is gonna kill you because you believe that, you realize that the earth isn't the center of the universe, so the village is gonna castrate you because of that. All right, the way I feel is the way someone feels, picking up on that energy for a highly sensitive person, an empath or empathetic person. Hoka empath is a very interesting topic. I'll make more videos about that. Sometimes what you feel, you don't really need to feel. Sometimes I'm gonna take out this Zen pouch. Head's buzzing too much, so you gotta take it out. What you feel sometimes from other people, or you're trying to focus on your homework but listening to this podcast, and then you're trying to do two things at the same time, because I don't want to feel like I'm wasting time. I want to be learning about business while I'm studying for my real estate exam. Why can't I just sit there and just study for the exam and have a dedicated time for learning or relaxing, watching history videos or whatever, business podcast, Alex Hormozy? All of my life, I've tried to focus on multiple things at the same time. And majority of my life, I've been pre-med. Wanted to be a doctor, programmed by my parents, society in a way, Punjabi, Indian culture, they sort of push certain careers for safety. And I understand, I'm not speaking down on it, but I'm just saying that it's not a good way to parent. But I was raised that way, and studying was a chore. So I had to do something entertaining while I was studying. Focus gets distracted. You can't even focus on whatever you're trying to do because you're trying to entertain yourself, make sure you're not thinking of negative thoughts, so you're listening to stuff all day. These inputs of thoughts is what the sensitivity is. You're just having thoughts. But if you breathe and expand your diaphragm and realize that as long as you focus on one thing and do that one thing great, whatever that means to you is subjective, then that's the first step you can take to coping with this highly anxious, highly sensitive nervous system. And that's not a bad thing. I'll be at I don't know if I mentioned this or not, I've recorded this video like 4 times because I've, messed up. But I'm going to keep doing it. There was a time I was at Costco checking out groceries, and I can feel the cashier's emotion. I can feel the person behind us's emotion. There's like 50 people. I can feel the people just want to get out of there. They just want to hurry up, hurry up. And then I feel no one's saying anything. Everyone's probably on their phone in their own world, but I'm just feeling this ethereal type of atmospheric feelings of people. I can't really put a finger on what the feeling or the word is, but I feel it, and I can kind of, articulate myself, or calibrate myself to match the person's feeling, so that they don't feel bad, or they feel like how I want to be treated at that specific situation. If I was a cashier, or if I was the person standing behind me in line, sometimes I don't want to feel like that. Sometimes I just want to be selfish and be like, I'm going to sit here and take my time with these groceries, make sure I'm counting, or swipe my card as slow as possible. I wasn't buying groceries, my parents were. I'm not at the stage right now to go grocery shopping at Costco. I used to grocery shop at Kroger. Costco's a lot of bulk stuff. So if you have a family, then swiping, taking your time, not being overly nice. And it's great things. Be nice. And I'm not saying don't be nice to people and be thoughtful. But for me personally, I'm too nice. And it's good. I've never, thankfully, have been taken advantage of. Maybe indirectly I have by being too nice. But thankfully, I've surrounded myself with good people, respectful people. But I'm sure that me being too nice, highly sensitive, can be detrimental to my well-being long term. Because not everyone has the best intentions for you. But then again, if they see that you have good intentions for them, then what causes them to? So I don't know. I really do believe the life is the golden rule. Treat people like how you want to be treated. But being overly sensitive, you need to desensitize yourself by only focusing on stuff that matters. Meaning, don't focus on this cashier's emotions. What's the point of that? I know they don't want to be there. They want to go back to their home and eat dinner with their kids. They got to be here, work, and the person behind me got to do this, got to do that. I have my own stuff too. I want to feel good now. So you should feel good now. And another video I want to make is I have issues focusing. I'll focus and I'll find myself in the flow state, but then I'll feel irritated. Like I could also be doing this. I could be relaxing. You know, you need to have a work-life balance.